My beloved child, stop right here. Do not scroll past this message. Do not look away or rush to the next video. Give me just 1 minute of your time, and I promise you will not regret staying. Heaven aligned time itself to bring your eyes to these exact words today. You did not stumble across this video by accident. I guided your hand. I guided your spirit to this precise intersection, because your heart desperately needs to hear what I am about to say. I speak to you in this moment because I see how tired you are. I see the quiet stirring inside your chest that you have been trying to name for days. You have felt a strange restlessness. You feel it when you sit alone in your car. You feel it right before you drift off to sleep. And every time you try to ignore it, the quiet pressure inside your heart only grows stronger, because your spirit knows that something massive is shifting in the unseen realm. You have been carrying a heavy weight in absolute silence. You smile for others every single day. You pretend that you have everything under control, but when the lights go out, you sit in the dark and ask yourself if you are losing your mind. You wonder if you are falling behind in life. You look at everyone around you, and you feel as though everyone else received the instruction manual while you were left alone in the dark. My child, look at me right now. You are not losing your mind. You are not falling behind. What you have called random anxiety is actually my divine prompting resting upon your soul. I place that restless feeling inside you. It is a holy nudge. It is my way of waking you up before the world pulls you into another season of empty distraction. If you feel my spirit speaking directly into your atmosphere in this exact minute, do not stay silent. Comment, "I am listening right now," as an act of agreement between your heart and mine. Type those 3 words into the comments below so you can anchor your spirit in my presence. This simple action is your first step of obedience today, and it seals your heart against the noise that tries to pull you away. Now listen to me with the deepest part of your heart. If you skip this message right now, if you let the fast noise of the world distract you again, you will regret it. I do not say this to frighten you or make you afraid. I say this because the enemy knows how close you are to your breakthrough. He knows that the very answer you have been crying out for is finally within your reach. The adversary cannot destroy the promise I made to you, but he can drown out my voice with noise. He wants you to keep scrolling. He wants you to stay busy so you miss the subtle instruction I am trying to hand you. Every time you rush past my voice, you walk right back into the same cycle of exhaustion that drained your spirit last year. I saw you last night. I saw you holding your chest while your mind raced with 1,000 unanswered questions. You asked me why doors that looked perfect suddenly slammed shut in your face. You asked me why people you loved walked away without a single word of explanation. You felt abandoned in the dark, and you wondered if I had forgotten your name. Hear me clearly, my child. I never forgot you. Not for a single breath. Every closed door was my absolute protection over your destiny. Every person who left your life was removed because they could not carry the weight of where I am taking you. What looked like a painful delay was actually my hand shielding you from rooms that would have broken your heart into pieces. That inner prompting you feel right now is not a curse. It is the sound of my key turning in the lock. I call this season the sacred prompting. It is a holy signal that I place inside my chosen vessels when a long waiting period is officially coming to an end. But to receive what I am opening, you must learn how to clear the noise that has been blocking your ears for so long. You have tried to fix your life with your own empty strength. You tried harder. You prayed longer. You pushed yourself until your body felt completely hollow inside, and yet, the static in your mind never truly stopped. You feel like you are yelling into a quiet sky, wondering if your prayers are simply bouncing off the ceiling and falling back to the floor. I am stepping into your day right now to end that confusion forever. I am going to reveal the exact reason why I placed this restlessness inside you this week. I am going to show you the unseen trap that the enemy set to keep you trapped in exhaustion. And before this message ends, I will hand you the exact tool I prepared to restore the quiet clarity you lost so long ago. Breathe deeply, my beloved child. Let your shoulders relax right now. Let your mind stop racing for just a few moments, because you do not have to fight this battle alone anymore. I am standing right beside you in this room. Stay with me, listen closely, and let me show you what heaven has authorized for your life today. You have spent so many months fighting invisible battles that no one else could see. You woke up tired. You went to bed tired. And even when you tried to rest, your mind kept running through every scenario, trying to figure out how to save yourself. You convinced yourself that if you just held everything together a little longer, the storm would finally pass. But my child, I never asked you to hold the storm together. I asked you to let me be your anchor. When you carry the weight of tomorrow today, you wear out the vessel I created for glory. I am asking you right now to lay down the heavy bags you have been dragging behind you, because you do not need to control the outcome when I have already written the ending of your story. Do you feel that subtle heat in your chest right now? Do you feel that quiet stirring that makes you want to take a deep breath? That is not your imagination. That is my presence stepping into the room where you are sitting. I am blowing away the heavy cloud that sat on your mind all morning, and I am replacing it with a peace that passes human understanding. The enemy told you that you were stranded. He whispered that your prayers were too weak and that your past mistakes made you unworthy of my blessing. He wants you to believe that everyone else is moving forward while you remain stuck in the mud. But those are lies designed to make you give up right before the harvest arrives. Look at how far you have walked through the dark. You did not break. You did not quit. Even when your heart was breaking, you still held on to a tiny thread of faith. That tiny thread is all I need to work a miracle in your life today. You do not need perfect faith, because you only need to stay right here and listen to my voice. There is a reason why this video appeared on your screen today, of all days. Time is moving fast in the spiritual realm. Decisions are being made about your future, and doors are being unlocked right now. If you walk away now, you allow the noise of the world to steal the seeds of hope I am planting in your spirit. You have carried the expectations of so many people on your shoulders. You became the strong one. You became the anchor for everyone else while your own heart was secretly sinking. You gave away your energy until you had nothing left for yourself, and then you felt guilty for feeling drained. My child, I see every silent sacrifice you made when no one was watching. I saw the tears you wiped away before stepping out of your car. I saw how you swallowed your own pain, just so you would not burden the people you love. You thought those moments were forgotten, but every single tear landed directly in my hands. I recorded every quiet sigh, and I am preparing a reward that will make every drop of sorrow feel like a distant memory. My beloved child, let me speak softly to the part of you that is most tired today. Come closer and sit with me for a moment. I know what it feels like to carry a heart that feels completely depleted. I saw you last night when you replayed every conversation in your mind, searching for the one thing you might have done wrong. You sat on the edge of your bed in the quiet dark. You held your head in your hands and wondered why peace feels so hard to reach. Everyone sees your strength, but I see your fatigue. You have been running on empty for months, pretending to be whole for everyone else while quietly falling apart inside your own spirit. I saw you in the bathroom when you turned on the water just to hide the sound of your crying. You folded yourself into the smallest shape possible because you did not want anyone to know how heavy the load had become. You swallowed your tears and forced a quiet smile, and then you walked back out into the world as if nothing was wrong. I saw every single tear, my child, and not one of them was wasted. You thought you were alone in those dark hours, but I was sitting right beside you on that cold floor. I counted every breath you struggled to take. I held your heart in my hands when you were too tired to pray, and I spoke peace over your room while you slept. Let me show you what has really been happening inside your heart. You have accomplished good things, yet you felt nothing inside because your eyes went straight to what was left unfinished. You convinced yourself that you are just a perfectionist. You told yourself that you simply have high standards, but that is not the truth, and I will not let you carry that lie any longer. Here is what is truly happening beneath the surface. Long ago, in a moment you might not even remember, you learned that love had to be earned. You came to believe that you were only safe when you were useful to others, and only worthy when you were achieving something great. I call this the earning wound. It is not your character, but a deep scar from the past. All those years you thought you were lazy when you rested, you were not lazy at all. You were fighting an invisible lie that told you rest had to be bought with exhaustion. All those times you could not accept a compliment, you were not being humble. You were simply guarding a wound. But today, I am taking that heavy lie away from your shoulders forever. The next time you finish a task and feel that familiar emptiness, stop right where you are. Place your hand over your heart and hear my voice whisper that you were loved before you ever achieved a single thing. You do not have to perform for me. You do not have to earn the grace that I freely pour into your life every single morning. If you feel my healing touch washing over your soul right now, pause for just a second. Write "you see me" in the comments below to anchor your heart in my presence. Let those 4 words be your testament that you are no longer invisible in your pain, because I see every hidden scar you carry and I am healing them all today. My child, listen to me carefully. The silence you have felt in your prayers was never my absence. The enemy has been filling your life with static, flooding your daily atmosphere with noise so constant that my voice became hard to hear. But I have not abandoned you. I have been preparing a way out, and I guided wise minds to build an instrument of restoration for your mind. I aligned a specific sound provision to clear the static that has been clouding your thoughts for so long. I will show you exactly what it is and where to find it before this message ends. Do not worry about how it works just yet. Simply know that I saw your exhaustion, and I have already set the answer on your path to give your soul the deep rest it needs. I know what you are thinking right now in the back of your mind. You are asking yourself if this message could really be for you, or if your situation is somehow too complicated to be fixed. You wonder if your heart is too broken or if you have made too many mistakes to receive such a gift. My child, I am not offended by your doubts, but I need you to hear the truth. Your story is unique, but there has never been a wound so deep that my love could not reach even deeper. You are not the exception to my mercy. You are precisely the one I came to rescue today. You feel that you must fix yourself before you can receive my peace, but I do not demand perfection from you. I only ask for your willingness to sit quietly and receive what I offer. You have spent years trying to break through spiritual brick walls using your own human strength. You tried harder, you studied more, and you forced yourself to keep going even when your body screamed for rest. But human effort cannot cure a spiritual static. You cannot fight a silent noise with more striving, because noise only yields when you surrender control to me. I am stripping away the false authority of every voice that ever told you that you were not enough. I am hollowing out the space where anxiety used to live, and I am filling it with a quiet stillness that cannot be shaken by the storms of this world. When the enemy whispers that you are stranded, remember that I am the one who holds your entire future in my hands. Look at your life through my eyes for just one moment. I do not see a failure or someone who is falling behind. I see a warrior who has survived terrible storms in secret without ever losing their gentle heart. I see a chosen vessel who is being refined in the fire so that my glory can shine through every crack that life left behind. The season of struggling alone in the dark is coming to a close right now. You do not have to figure out the next 10 steps of your life today. You only need to take this one breath with me and allow my peace to settle into your chest. Let your hands unlock, let your jaw unclench, and let the heavy tension drain out of your body as you listen to my promise. I am rebuilding the broken foundations of your life, not to punish you, but to make you unshakable for the season ahead. The doors that closed were not rejections, but my loving hands, keeping you safe from places that would have stolen your light. Every delay you hated was simply me slowing your steps so you would arrive at the exact moment your blessing was ready. Breathe in my peace, my beloved child. You have carried the weight of the whole world for far too long, but today you are laying it down at my feet. You are stepping out of the role of the lonely survivor and stepping into the identity of a restored child. Stay right here with me, because I am about to show you how the shift in your atmosphere is taking place right now. You have wondered if anyone truly understands the depth of what you have suffered over these past few years. You looked at others who seemed to move forward so effortlessly while you felt stuck in place. But hear me with all your soul, my child. Their path was not your path, and their timing was not your timing. What I am building in you required a deeper foundation, and that foundation could only be laid in the quiet dark. So do not despair over the time you feel you have lost. I am the restorer of lost years, and I am turning every tear you shed into the very soil where your greatest victory will grow. The pain of yesterday is losing its power over your heart right in this moment. Lift up your head, take a slow breath, and step forward with me into the light of a brand new day. I want you to know where I was while you were lying awake last night. I was not watching you from a distant throne in the sky. I was standing in the quiet space right beside your bed, watching the rise and fall of your chest while the world was fast asleep. You felt so isolated in those early morning hours. You looked at the clock, and you wondered why sleep refused to visit your eyes once again. That quiet hour was not an accident, my child. In the silence of the night, when the noise of the daylight world fades away, your spirit becomes capable of hearing the subtle whispers that your busy mind ignores during the day. I was leaning close to your soul, speaking words of peace over your heavy thoughts. You thought you were just experiencing insomnia, but you were actually sitting in my sanctuary. There was a young boy in the scriptures named Samuel, who slept near the holy place long ago. In the middle of the quiet night, he heard a gentle voice calling his name out of the darkness. He did not recognize who was speaking at first. He thought it was merely an earthly man calling for him, so he ran to the wrong place again and again until he learned to recognize my voice. My beloved child, you have been doing the exact same thing. You felt a sudden stirring in your heart during the quiet hours, and you thought it was just anxiety. You ran to earthly solutions, trying to fix a spiritual calling with human worry. But I was the one calling your name in the dark. I was inviting you to lie still and listen to the divine instructions I was preparing to hand to your spirit. There was also a faithful woman named Hannah who prayed in silence so deep that no human voice came out of her mouth. Her lips moved without sound, and people around her thought she was lost in confusion. But every single broken syllable she formed in her heart landed directly into my hands. I counted every quiet sob she cried, and I turned her silent prayer into a holy breakthrough that changed history. I see your silent prayers in the exact same way today. You do not need big words or loud shouts to reach my heart. When you sit in your room and whisper my name through your tears, every single word reaches my throne instantly. I am already counting what I am about to pour back into your waiting arms, and I will not let your quiet faithfulness go unrewarded. Now, before I show you the breakthrough that is approaching your life, I need to speak directly to the quiet doubt sitting in the back of your mind. I know what you are thinking right now. You are telling yourself that you have heard hopeful promises before. You remember the times you prayed with all your heart, yet the answer seemed delayed, and you wonder why this moment would be any different. Hear me clearly, my child. That quiet question does not anger me at all. It simply tells me how long you have been faithful in the dark. But let me reveal the truth behind those years of waiting. My silence was never my rejection. There were specific answers I withheld from you because a hasty yes in that past season would have walked you right into an unseen trap that would have broken your spirit. I was not ignoring your desperate cries. I was being deeply careful with a life that I love beyond measure. Every prayer you thought went unanswered was actually being answered in a language of divine timing that your human eyes could not yet read. I was rearranging circumstances behind closed doors, clearing out toxic elements from your future, and preparing a foundation strong enough to hold your blessing. If you are ready to let go of that old disappointment, pause with me right now. Write, "I trust your timing" in the comments below, as an act of absolute agreement between your soul and mine. Type those 4 words into the space below to declare that you recognize, "My delay was actually my hand protecting your future." Let this comment be your seal of trust today. Look at how my hand has guided your life through every dark valley you thought would consume you. Remember the moments when you believed you could not survive another week. Remember the heartbreaks that felt like they would tear your chest apart forever. You thought you were breaking into pieces, but I was actually reshaping your vessel so it could hold a much greater measure of my glory. A jewel covered in dust is still deeply precious in the eyes of its creator. You may feel covered in the dust of past battles, but your true worth has never diminished for a single second. The world may measure you by your earthly achievements, but I measure you by the purity of your spirit and your willingness to keep trusting me even when the road feels steep and dark. You are standing at the exact threshold of a brand new season right now. The heavy winter of your soul is ending, and the first signs of your spiritual spring are rising beneath your feet. Do not let the memory of past delay close your heart to the miracle I am placing before you today. The waiting period was your shaping ground, and that shaping process is officially complete. The enemy tried to make you believe that you were stranded in a dry desert where nothing good could ever grow again. He whispered that your best years were already behind you, and that you missed your true calling long ago. But those whispers are powerless lies designed to keep you from stepping into the open door I have unlocked for your life. I am the God who creates rivers in the middle of dry deserts. I am the God who brings dead dreams back to life with a single word from my mouth. What looks like an impossible obstacle to your human mind is nothing more than a small stepping stone in my divine master plan. I am turning your greatest battlefield into the very ground where your greatest harvest will rise. Listen to the shift in my voice right now, my beloved child. I am moving you out of the quiet whisper of comfort and into the powerful declaration of my divine authority over your future. Sit up straight where you are, lift up your head, and open your heart to receive the words I am about to release over your life, because what comes next will redefine your entire reality. I am declaring right now that the heavy cloud of confusion that sat over your mind is officially dissolving into nothingness. The spirit of heaviness that made your morning steps feel like lead is being replaced by a garment of divine praise. You will no longer walk through your days feeling like a helpless victim of your circumstances, because I am clothing you with holy authority today. Every invisible chain that bound your thoughts to past failures is breaking apart at my command. The spirit of fear that told you that you would always struggle in financial lack or relational pain is losing its grip on your home right now. I am speaking order into your chaos, peace into your storm, and divine light into every dark corner of your existence. You have spent enough time looking back at the ashes of what used to be. It is time to lift your eyes toward the horizon and see the glorious future I have built for you. The people who doubted your calling will watch and wonder as I exalt your head in peace. The doors that were slammed in your face will be replaced by open gates that no human hand can ever shut against you. Hold on to my words with all your strength, my child, because the shift in your atmosphere is not something you have to wait years to see. It is beginning in this very hour. Stay close to me as we step into the next part of this message, where I will reveal the exact mechanism of the breakthrough I have prepared for your mind and your heart. You are no longer the one who must survive alone in the dark. I am raising you up to become a beacon of hope for others who are still lost in the storm. The very trials that tried to destroy your faith have given you a divine authority that cannot be shaken by earthly troubles. You are my chosen vessel, and your light is about to shine brighter than ever before. Breathe deeply one more time, and let my peace anchor your soul. Every word I have spoken over you today is sealed in heaven, and no earthly power can alter the course I have set for your life. Listen closely to what comes next, for the door to your restoration is standing wide open right in front of you. Hear me, my child, as I reveal the secret blueprint of how I constructed your inner world. When I formed your mind in your mother's womb, I placed a sacred receiver deep within your spirit. I designed your brain to run on a pure, divine frequency that allowed my voice to flow into your thoughts without any struggle. You were created to live in constant alignment with heaven. Look at how a young child lives every day. A child does not wake up carrying the heavy weight of tomorrow on their small shoulders. A child trusts completely, loves purely, and sleeps without a single worry sitting on their chest. When I spoke long ago and said that you must become like little children to enter my kingdom, I was not speaking only about your spiritual heart. I was speaking about the physical design of the mind I gave you. Wise researchers who study the human brain have confirmed what I placed in your physical body at the beginning of time. They discovered a specific brainwave signal called the gamma frequency. This is the exact signal that runs freely inside the mind of every young child. It is the frequency of pure divine receptivity, creative clarity, and unshakable inner peace that allows human souls to flourish. When you were young, that signal hummed without effort. You heard my voice in simple moments, and you felt my presence without needing to strive or force your faith. You looked at the world with wonder because your mind was clear of the toxic static that the adversary uses to trap grown adults in endless anxiety. Your vessel was open, receptive, and naturally aligned with my light. But as the years passed, the enemy brought the loud noise of the world into your atmosphere. He filled your days with endless pressure, financial strain, and relational exhaustion until that sacred signal was buried beneath layers of mental static. The static became so loud that you could no longer hear my gentle nudges. You began to believe that I had abandoned you in the dark. My child, I have not left you to fight that static alone in the dark. I guided wise minds to work with sound the exact way I designed it at the beginning of creation. They built a precise sound frequency that clears the enemy's interference and restores the gamma signal I placed within your brain. You do not have to work for it, and you do not have to strain your weary mind. You simply sit quietly for 7 minutes, close your eyes, and allow my design to restore what was stolen from you. It clears the dark cloud from your thoughts, so my instructions become instantly clear again. Before this message ends today, I will show you exactly where to find what they built. Stay right here with me, because your moment of complete restoration is arriving right now. I have heard the silent prayer you stopped praying out loud because you were tired of waiting for an answer. I saw you watch others receive the very blessings you begged me for, while you quietly wondered if I had forgotten your name. You started to believe that my silence meant rejection, and that you were not faithful enough to receive my favor. My beloved, that belief is a lie, and I am exposing it right now. Hear me clearly in this minute. There is a vast difference between a delay that comes from my protection and a delay that comes from the enemy's confusion. My delay carries a quiet peace, even in the waiting, while the enemy's static brings shame and despair. The enemy took my silence and whispered false meanings into it that I never placed there. I call this the stolen meaning. So all those years you thought you were forgotten, you were actually being hidden inside my protective hands. The silence was not my absence, but me working in secret rooms you could not see on a timeline you could not measure. The delay was me shielding your heart from a premature answer that would have broken your soul. So today, when the waiting feels heavy, stop asking why I am silent and start trusting what I am protecting. If your spirit recognizes the truth of these words right now, do not let this moment pass without an answer. Write "The door is open" in the comments below to declare that the enemy no longer has authority to twist my silence in your life. Type those 4 words into the space below as your act of complete surrender, and seal your heart in the unshakable peace I am releasing over you today. Remember my servant Elijah when he stood on the mountain long ago. There was a mighty wind that shattered the rocks, but I was not in the wind. There was an earthquake and a fierce fire, but I was not in the noise. It was only after the thunder passed that I spoke to him in a still, small voice. I am doing the exact same thing for your life today. I am silencing the wind of confusion that blew through your home for years. I am quenching the fire of anxiety that kept your heart racing through the night. The loud noise of the adversary is losing its power over your soul in this exact minute, and my still, small voice is rising up inside your spirit with absolute clarity, bringing the precise guidance you have prayed for. Feel the divine authority rising in your atmosphere right now, my chosen vessel. The heavy static that clouded your mind for years is breaking apart under the light of my presence. I am stripping the power away from every lie that ever told you that you were destined to repeat the painful cycles of your past. The chains of generational lack, anxiety, and spiritual tiredness are crumbling to dust right before your eyes. You were not created to live in constant survival mode, flinching at every storm and bracing for the next disappointment. You were created to carry my light, to walk in my authority, and to possess the peace that passes all human understanding. Every spiritual battle you fought in secret was proof that your life holds immense purpose, because the enemy only targets vessels that carry heavenly treasure. I am stepping into your family line today, and I am rewriting the script that governed your bloodline for generations. Where there was a pattern of financial poverty, I am releasing the windows of divine provision. Where there was a history of broken marriages and relational pain, I am pouring out a healing oil of unity. The curse ends with you, because you are the cycle breaker I chose for this exact hour. I declare over your life, in this exact second, that the long season of exhaustion is officially over. Not gradually, but right now, at my command. The locked gates that stood against your progress are trembling at the sound of my voice. What human hands shut against you, my divine power is throwing wide open, and no earthly force or spiritual enemy will ever have the power to close it again. The waiting season has fulfilled its holy purpose in your soul. The shaping in the dark is complete, and the vessel is ready to hold the outpouring of my glory. Stand up in your spirit, lift up your eyes, and take a deep breath of the freedom I am placing in your lungs today. You are no longer the weary warrior struggling to survive, but a victorious heir stepping into your rightful inheritance. I am turning your greatest defeat into your most powerful testimony for the world to see. Every single tear you cried in the dark is becoming a seed for a harvest so vast that it will surprise everyone who watched you suffer. Those who laughed at your pain will look upon your life with wonder, and they will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Lord your God was standing beside you all along. Feel my peace settling into the deepest places of your physical body right now. Let your heart rate slow down, let the tension leave your shoulders, and let your mind become as calm as a quiet lake at dawn. The noise of the enemy has been silenced, the static has been cleared, and my voice is echoing through your spirit with absolute clarity and unshakable power. Now that the atmosphere has been cleared and the declaration has been sealed in heaven, there is one final step set before you. I have prepared your spirit. I have broken the chains of the past, and I have placed the divine provision directly on your path. Stay with me for these final moments, as I guide your hands to receive the physical instrument I aligned for your complete restoration today. My beloved child, I have gifted humanity the wisdom to discover what I placed within sound and within the physical design of the mind I created. I do not work only through supernatural miracles, but also through the hands and minds of those I call into discovery. The researchers who built what I am showing you today were servants of science whose work I quietly directed for decades. Before you step forward, I want to show you what I did for two of my children who received this provision before you arrived here today. I think of my daughter Rachel in California, who had sought peace for years through every practice she could find. 2 weeks after receiving this provision, her marriage transformed, clarity returned, and she said the channel that was blocked was finally open. And for others, I moved differently. My son Michael in Texas came to this provision seeking focus for his work and peace for his children. 2 months later, his business expanded enough for him to leave his old job, and hard problems that used to steal his sleep began solving themselves while he rested. They did not achieve this by human striving, but by surrendering to my divine design. They call it the Genius Song. It is a simple digital soundtrack that takes only 7 minutes of your daily time. You put on your headphones, you close your eyes, and you sit in complete surrender. You do not have to meditate, you do not have to struggle, and you do not have to force your weary mind to concentrate on difficult exercises. It is not available on YouTube, Spotify, or any public streaming platform, because those public tracks carry none of the precise restoration I designed. The Genius Song was crafted specifically to clear the static of the adversary and return your brain to the pure gamma signal of a child. 7 minutes of surrender allows the divine receptivity I placed in you from the beginning to flow freely once again. This provision is not for those who are merely curious about spiritual things, but for the chosen vessel I have been speaking to throughout this entire message. This is for the exhausted warrior who has fought faithfully in secret, and for my child who feels embarrassed to try one more thing after so many disappointments. What failed you before required your human effort, but this requires only your willingness to rest in my presence. Earthly experts charge hundreds of dollars for single sessions that attempt to reach this state, and the equipment researchers use costs many thousands. But I do not call you to expensive clinics or human machines. I place this provision within your reach for a small earthly exchange, a mustard seed investment of faith, for the great harvest I have prepared for your family today. When you step forward today, I have aligned 4 additional gifts to bless your entire household. You will receive the Genius Child provision to bring deep focus and confidence to your children, the original text of wisdom upon which true prosperity is built, a guided visualization from a trusted voice, and a daily guide for sustaining your restored signal. All of these additional provisions are prepared and waiting for you. Where I place truth, the adversary always attempts to create false imitations to deceive. My children, do not be led astray by false frequencies circulating on streaming platforms under similar names, for they carry none of the restoration I have sanctioned. Access only the authentic provision I have placed below in the comment section. You are completely protected for 60 full days, so if the restoration does not come, every earthly penny is returned to you. Walk forward without fear, for this step of faith requires no worldly risk on your part. Take this step of obedience right now, my child. Find the provision I have placed below in the pinned comment and in the description of this video. Embrace what I have lovingly set before you on this day, and take the sacred invitation I have prepared for your heart. Now, set aside the noise of decision for a moment and breathe deeply with me. Whether you take that step this exact minute or later today, you remain my beloved child, and my presence will never leave your side. Close your eyes for just a second, let your shoulders drop, and let me speak a final blessing over your soul before our time together concludes. Let my words settle into your spirit as your personal declaration of freedom today. Say in your heart, I am a vessel fully restored to receive what my Father prepared for me. Say in your spirit, my channel is clear, my signal is strong, and the noise of the enemy no longer holds any authority over my mind. I receive the peace that was promised to me before the foundation of the world was laid. Let me show you who you are becoming in the quiet months ahead. Picture a morning 6 months from today. You wake up before your alarm goes off, and for the first time in many years, there is no heavy knot in your stomach waiting to greet you. You lie in your bed for a moment, and you notice that the suffocating weight you carried for so long is simply gone. Your first thought is not fear or anxiety, but a quiet joy as you wonder what good thing I have made for you today. You breathe deeply, and the air goes all the way down into your chest without any tightness or pain. That version of you is not an impossible fantasy, my beloved child, for that peaceful soul already lives inside you right now. She is waiting on the other side of one decision, to stop carrying what I never asked you to carry alone. The distance between where you sit today and that morning of absolute peace is simply surrender. It is the moment you finally stop striving with your own strength and allow my hands to hold your future. You do not need to figure out how every detail will be resolved, because I am already walking ahead of you in time and preparing the way. Now picture another moment a little further ahead in your spiritual journey. Someone you love comes to you broken, tired, and carrying the exact weight you once carried in secret. And because you lived through this dark storm and allowed me to heal your vessel, you will know exactly what to say to bring light back into their eyes. The very pain you begged me to remove will become the healing medicine in your hands for others. You will watch the heavy cloud lift from their face, and you will understand, finally, why your road had to be so long and deep. Nothing in your life was wasted, my child. Every tear you shed in the dark has become a deep well of compassion from which thirsty souls will drink in the years to come. Your story is not ending in defeat, but beginning in glorious victory. I am clothing you with holy strength, crowning your head with unshakable peace, and opening doors that no human hand will ever shut against you. Go forward today in the quiet confidence that the God of heaven walks beside you in every single step. When anxiety tries to whisper old lies into your thoughts, remember that your signal has been restored by my hand. You are no longer the lonely survivor fighting invisible battles in the dark, but a cherished child living under the open windows of heavenly blessing. The heavy static is gone, the way is clear, and my love covers your life completely today. Walk in the authority I have given you, and rest in the promise that I will never leave you nor forsake you. If this message has brought light to your weary soul today, do not let it pass without a sacred response. Like this video, as an act of agreement between your heart and mine. Share this message with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope today, and subscribe to this channel so you never lose connection with my daily guidance. I walk with you always, my beloved child.